Hello again, everybody. Ben Joravsky here. We're calling this Rosie Leaves the USA Tuesday, and here's why. That's a mouthful. Rosie Leaves the USA. My distinguished guest, Ramana Hussein, is standing by. She did not know I was going to open with this oration, and it's really one of her favorite themes that I'm going to be pining on: celebrities, liberals, white women, etc., and so forth. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, now because we're on Instagram and YouTube, thank you, Chris and Nate, and TikTok, you all see how Ramana's dressed. She gave me a little levity in the midst of all the gloom and doom of the fascist takeover of our country, which we'll be talking about to some degree with her outfit, particularly her hat. But anyway, so there's so much to talk about. There's so much horrific news out there. I'm going to avoid it for a while and talk about something relatively frivolous. And this was an article I read about Rosie O'Donnell, the movie star, talk show host, comedian, celebrity, announcing that she was leaving the United States to go settle in Ireland. She apparently has dual citizenship, and she's going to move to Ireland because the United States under Trump is nothing she wants anything to do with. And I don't blame her for leaving in any way. I'm not hating on Rosie O'Donnell for leaving. She had the option to leave. She's leaving. Rosie O'Donnell, more than almost anyone else in this country, has been victimized by Trump, if you will, and that Trump has gone after her in very ugly and, misogynistic ways. So I don't blame her at all for wanting to get out of the country. So Rosie, God bless you. Leave the country if you can. It was the way she left that irritated me, I have to say, and I'll tell you why. It's going to sort of knit together some of the themes that Ramon and I will start the show discussing. She took a shot at the press. So she left the country. All right, there's a fight going on in America for our democracy. Right now, there's a huge fight. Donald Trump is openly violating the rule of law. He's contemptuously ignoring rulings by federal judges, almost like challenging them, daring them to come after him and do something about it. All right, we'll talk about this with Ramana. And so there's all kinds of reporters, valiantly writing up the story of Donald Trump in his assault on democracy, exposing themselves to ridicule, doxing, working under really tough conditions in this country. It's a really rough time to be in journalism, to put it mildly. And here's Rosie O'Donnell as she's traipsing off to Ireland, saying, I don't like the way the press is covering the president, and they're not doing enough to protect us. I'm like, what are you doing to protect us? You're running off to Ireland. I mean, it's like you ran off. Okay, I don't blame you. I'm not hating on you for running off. But Lord, why are you taking a shot at the people who stayed and are actually fighting? That's really unfair. That was a cheap shot. And listen, I don't think there's anybody in Chicago more critical of the mainstream press than I am. Ramana knows what that is true. Because she's been hearing me rant and rail about them for 20 years or whatever. I've been ranting and railing. It actually goes back to the 80s, Ramana, with the way they covered Harold Washington. But I have utmost respect for journalists in this day and age trying, like holding the line. I do believe that journalists are a key defense. I really believe that. Some of our local journalists are so biased against Brandon Johnson, it's laughable. So I'm not talking about them, but I'm talking about so many national journals, New York Times, The Guardian, which is British, the Washington Post journalists, not the editorial board. I'm talking about the actual journalists who do the work. So come on, Rosie. It's okay. You left. You felt the pressure. I don't blame you, but you don't have to take a shot at the people who are staying and doing the dirty work. Oh, and then when it's safe to come out, hopefully this ends. I don't know, when President Pritzker is elected, then you're going to come back. Then you're going to be coming back. Woo, thank God that's over. Oh, boy, I tell you how much I loved Ireland.